Hey guys, good morning. April here with Cannon Farm. I am working on a swing set today. First thing I'm going to do is take off the screws, the nuts and bolts of the little seesawsies and whatever's. I don't know what you call this one. I call it a carousel seat. A carousel rocker is what I think of, because it kind of reminds me of a carousel seat in the middle of it. So I just call it a carousel rocker. I don't know what you call it. Tell me in the comments if you know. Girls are out here helping, so that's great. I'm sure they'll swallow a screw or something that I need later. Everything seems to be coming off pretty smoothly. I did soak it last night at Bobby's advice in WD-40. So I've got the seesaw part completely down and 2 swing hooks. So on to these next. Did you hear it? I just found it. I couldn't find it, so I had to pull out the trusty old magnet sweep. Also, I've just made my second trip to the barn. So let's see if we can keep up with how many times that's gonna happen. Trip number 3 to the garage. I'm hoping to come up with a clever system for putting the poles in a position where I can paint them easy and they dry and not lay on the ground or lay on a stump or something. So let's see if I can make that work. Also, let's see how many trips I take to the barn. This is the first trip I'm about to go on, which I anticipated because I left the spray paint inside. And I've got to go get a couple things to make this, the positions I'm wanting the poles to lay in. So I knew this one was coming, but let's see how many more I make after this. You'll hear that whirring noise in the background. I don't know if it'll come through well, but we're in South Carolina, and South Carolina in the south is getting cicadas. They only hatch every 13 or 17 years. Well, this year, the 13 and the 17 evened up and they hatched all together. So we're having just this swarm of cicadas come out. It almost sounds like ambulance or police sirens. And it's just this white noise in the background, but it is completely annoying. So if you hear that on the videos, I'm sorry. Trip number 2 again. Forgot something. I went upstairs and got screws for something and forgot the T-post driver. So here I go. All right, so here's one of the bugs that are hatching currently. And Bobby convinced me that if you pick them up by their wings, you can hold them. He's not going to sit still for y'all to see him. Let's try putting him on a piece of furniture here. But he's got red eyes. He looks vicious. And the males are what that noise is, calling for their females. And the chickens freaking love these things. See if I can get this on video the right way. And off she goes. T-post driver was not in the garage. And the way I'm picturing this in my head, I think it would be worth going to get it down at the other shed. So, side-by-side ride, here we go. So I cannot find the T-post driver. It is somewhere on this property. I don't know where it is. We're going old school. Okay, so here's the setup that I'm doing. I got to get them cleaned so that I can sand, so that then I can paint. So at the rate this is going, I'll have this swing set put together by the time Asher is 7. It's easier to move the poles to where the water is than it was to run water hoses to the poles. So I have disassembled my setup, getting ready to pressure wash these things so that I can clean them up. prep work makes the end results worth it. Apparently May thinks we're going, oh, there's Tank. We're going on a side-by-side ride. I backed it up to the gate to empty the grass seeds so I won't puncture the bags, and apparently May thinks we're going on a ride. Bobby found 2 more bugs. There's hundreds and hundreds of these things around here. All right, so we're gonna feed them to the girls. We're gonna feed the bugs to the bugs.
Hey girls, look what we got. Look. Oh, she done took it. I
went and took a minute to find my spray paint gun. Or my spray, yeah, I guess it would be my spray paint trigger. I don't know what it'd be called, but this thing's supposed to work. I'll see if it still works, because holy moly. Well, not holy moly, because holy mollies aren't holy. Goodness, is this cramping on the finger and tiresome. I think the only good thing about running the sander is it covers the sound of the cicadas. So that's a positive. April here, Goldie there. Today is a little more spray painting. I've got the stuff that is going to be yellow already sanded, and finishing up some green as well. So just a little more spray painting. So let's get going. And my girls are out here helping this morning. Sometimes if I have to wait for paint to dry, I get in trouble. Well, not trouble, but I get into things. So I've taken what I call the carousel seat apart. So these have been my tools for taking apart that little carousel seat. And I almost giggle at the fact that I'm using this little bitty flathead screwdriver and then this tiny, what Bobby calls a baby hammer. So I've been using these for taking apart that thing, and I can almost hear Bobby saying now, if you had real tools, you could make the stuff happen. It's a beautiful sunny day out here today, finally. It's been raining for several days. I told Bobby the other day, I said, I think I'm going to go out and put together the swing set frame. It's all painted. Except that it's not. So I laid them up here because they weren't going to fit in the contraption that I had set up for laying them out flat to paint, and then forgot about them. Yeah, so I'm back to painting again, and that was not the plan. I thought it was all ready and raring to go, and I have 2 more poles to paint. Good job. Okay, so today is the day. I'm going to attempt to put together this frame of the swing set. I'm kind of nervous because I don't fully know if I remember how it came apart. Pretty self-explanatory, I think, but I also don't want to get it wrong. So here we go. So it's together. So Bobby had to come out and help, which he did. However, before Bobby got here, I had the top brackets attached to the long bar upside down. So now I'm gonna have to go and loosen 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts and rotate the bar so that it is correct and right side up. Yeah. But let's move on. Okay, well, if I got points taken off for scratches, I'd be in trouble. So good thing that's not a problem. But bar is turned around, joints are back on. So I think it's looking good. I'm very happy with it. And now I've just got to see if there's a way to put the carousel seat that I want on here. So let's try to do that and see. Okay, so it has been moved. Got the muscles out here to help me move it.
Right.
That has the carousel seat. Don't be pointing out my nicks, man. Okay, so swing set was free. Swings were like 30 bucks.
30,
Paint.
60. Remember? We went back in and it was like a lot more.
Yeah. All right, so 60 bucks for the swings. Obviously the cost of the paint, so that was, I'd say 100 bucks for the swing set. And then I found that thing, it was like 10 bucks-ish at the Goodwill, and brought it home, and I think it will work very well. The carousel Swiss seat that I have and I'm working on will go there eventually. And so I think it's very lovely. We're gonna have a swing set for the boy, and when the girl gets walking and moving, she'll have one too. Jeez. We're swinging.
May's barking.
Mamie's thoughts on the project.
Mimi.
And Tank's thoughts on the project.
Wee. Not too much. Uncle Bobby can't get us unbalanced. So turn us over.
Wee. Okay, so here it is. Put on the, I kept calling it a carousel seat. Turns out I was meaning Ferris wheel seat. But I don't know what it's called officially, so, but there it is. It's all put together, basically ready to go. I got to get some little bitty joint things that go down here. I think it looks good. And it's ready for when he comes Friday.
Push.
Do what?
Push.
Push?
Yes.